Hello, dear students. I am Samir Velankar. I welcome all of you to this next video on Kran's relations based on the decreasing function. Now, before we analyze the recursive function given here, the print function, before we do that, let's question one thing that what is the upper bound? What is the upper bound of log of n factorial? By upper bound, we mean that what can be log of n factorial if I write log of n factorial, what is log of n factorial less than something we want. So we want a value which will be higher than log of n factorial, and that too for sure we want some function which will be larger than log of n factorial. Okay, so you know that log of n factorial is nothing but log of n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into 2 into 1, isn't it? Multiplying all numbers from 1 to n is n factorial. Now we want a function which whose value will be higher than this, greater than this. So what we can do is substitute this n minus 1, n minus 2, 2, 1, everything with n. So it becomes n into n into n into n into, this goes on n times, isn't it? Because all the n terms written over here, 1 to n, all of them have been replaced with n. So I hope you understand that this n into n into n into n into whatever that has been written n times is surely greater than the previous. I mean, this log is surely greater than the previous log which is written, because the value written in the bracket is nothing but n raised to n. It is not n factorial. Check this. So log of n raised to n is definitely greater than log of n factorial. But then this can be written as n log n using our logarithmic notations or theorems. We know that log of x raised to y is y into log of x. So this is nothing but n log n to the base 2, of course, to the base 2. So we say that log of n factorial has an upper bound as n log n to the base 2. So we can say log of n factorial is big O of n log n. You can just rewind this and check it out again. Surely log of n factorial surely will be less than this, correct or not? Because in n factorial, we had 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 up to n, and all these terms were replaced with n. So n into n into n into n into up to n times we got. So definitely n raised to n is greater than n factorial. Hence, log of n factorial is definitely less than n log n to the base 2. So it is of the order n log n to the base 2. Okay, remember this. Now let's come back to our recursive function. In the recursive function, we are passing a parameter n, and if n is greater than 0, we are having a for loop which prints the value of x. But notice, in the for loop, x goes from 1 to n, correct? But each time x is multiplied by 2. Listen, we have seen such for loops which multiply the counter x by 2 every time, they will run log n times, isn't it? Just as an example, just bear with me. I know you have already studied this, but suppose n is 8, the parameter n is 8. Then this for loop is going to run as for x is equal to 1, correct? X less than or equal to 8, that is n, and x should become x into 2. And each time we are printing x in the for loop, print x. So 1 will be printed, then 1 into 2, 2 will be printed, then 2 into 2, that is 4 will be printed, correct? And 4 into 2, that is 8 will be printed. So how many times has this particular for loop repeated and printed the value of x? 4 times. 4 times, isn't it? That's nothing but log of 8 to the base 2 plus 1. I hope you are getting it. Log of 8 to the base 2 is nothing but 3. 3 plus 1, that's 4. Like if you take n as 16, let's say n is 16, then this for loop will repeat from 1 to 16. I am writing here 1 to 16. So it will print 1, 2, 4, 8 and 16. So it has executed printf 5 times. That is nothing but log of 16 to the base 2 plus 1. Now notice log of 16 to the base 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. In general, the for loop will print, the print x statement will repeat log of n to the base 2 plus 1 time, isn't it? That's nothing but log of n to the base 2. You know it. This is a polynomial, and the highest term is log of n to the base 2. So it works in the order of log of n. I hope you have agreed that the for loop in the if statement is going to run log of n to the base 2 times. Actually, log of n to the base 2 plus 1 time, but we can generalize it as log n. And then what happens is the same function is called by decreasing the value of n. Print is called with passing the parameter n minus 1. Now it becomes very easy for us to state the recurrence relation. You all know that to analyze this recursive function, we have to generate a recurrence relation. So Tn is nothing but Tn minus 1. This is the recursive call with n decreased by 1 plus log of n to the base 2. Isn't it so? Okay, if you are not ready to accept why we have skipped that n that plus 1 over there, isn't it? You can put this as this term as c into log of n to the base 2, where c is some constant, isn't it? You can say like that also, that okay, this printf runs so many times, but each time it runs, it takes c unit of time. C unit of time. So if the printf runs each time, every time it takes c unit of time, and it runs log of n to the base 2 times. So the total time is c into log of n to the base 2, a constant multiplied by log of n to the base 2. But we won't write this, we will directly write log of n to the base 2 as c is a constant. So I hope you got the recurrence relation. Check out the recurrence relation again. The recurrence relation is Tn is equal to T of n minus 1 plus log n. But when is this true? This is true only if n is greater than 0. Observe, only if n is greater than 0, then log n times printf runs and recursion is done. But Tn is 1 if n is 0. Just check. If n is 0, the if statement which I am marking now becomes false. Then if is false, nothing happens in the function and function simply terminates. So if the function terminates without doing any work, we can even say Tn is 0. I am happy if you do that. Tn is 0 if n is 0, but I introduce 1 because I say that at least if is checked, isn't it? If n greater than 0 will be checked, let's say it takes 1 unit of time. But remember, it will make no difference to our answer if you put Tn is equal to 1 if n is Tn equal to 0 if n is 0. By the way, now you know that T0, isn't it? T0 is 1 because when n is 0, when this parameter n is 0, then the time taken is 1. So I have written that recurrence relation over here. Watch it. The recurrence relation is Tn is equal to Tn minus 1 plus log n for n greater than 0, and Tn is 1 for n equal to 0. Now we would like to solve this by method of substitution, isn't it? So you know the technique. I have written the equation again. Tn is equal to Tn minus 1 plus log n. Let's number this equation as 1. So observe the equation. If Tn is Tn minus 1 plus log n, then what is Tn minus 1? Isn't it? What is Tn minus 1? Surely, if you put this n here, if this n at this place is n minus 1, if this is n minus 1, then this term here on the right hand side will become Tn minus 2. And this term over here will become log of n minus 1. So that's how we got Tn minus 1 is Tn minus 2 plus log of n minus 1. So if you know what is Tn minus 1 now, Tn minus 1 is this value. You just put this value at the place of Tn minus 1 here in equation 1. So substitute the value of Tn minus 1 in equation 1. We get Tn is equal to Tn minus 2 plus log of n minus 1. Listen. this part which I am marking is nothing but Tn minus 1, isn't it? And what we had is log n in equation 1. So we get equation 2. Again, please do not, for our favor, do not simplify this equation. I mean, I always prefer not simplifying it and writing it as log n minus 1 plus log n. But then next, now if we continue doing this from equation 2, we have a part here in equation 2 is Tn minus 2. What is it? What is Tn minus 2? It's equal to Tn minus 3 plus log of n minus 2. I hope you got this very easily. So if you put this value of Tn minus 2, which I am marking in equation 2 here, at the place of Tn minus 2, you will get Tn is equal to Tn minus 3 plus log of n minus 2 plus log of n minus 1 plus log n. Let's number this equation as 3. So can you generalize it now? Yes. As we are continuing this, we'll get Tn minus 4, Tn minus 5. That means we'll get Tn minus k. And if this is Tn minus k, surely in the next term, k is getting used. I mean, if this, you just check, I'm marking it here. This is Tn minus 3. And in the next term, we have written 2 here. So this, in the next term, we get k minus 1, then n minus k minus 2, then n minus k minus 3, up to log of n minus 1 log n. Let's number this equation as k. So we have got a generalized equation now. And now starts the fun part again. Now, we want somehow, we want this suspense k. What is this k? We want the value of k, isn't it? N is not the suspense. N is the number that we have passed. N is the parameter. So k is the suspense. Now you watch. We want this n minus k over here to become t0. Again, why? Just question it. Why are we interested in making it as t0? Is because we know t0 is 1. We know the value of t0. So somehow, we want Tn minus k to be t0. But for this, n minus k should become 0, isn't it? This term which I am marking in the bracket should become 0. So that means k should be n. K should be n. Now that's what I have written is Tn minus k to become t0, n minus k should become equal to 0. So n minus k equal to 0 means k is n. Now what? Now finally just substitute. Just put this value of k equal to n in the equation k. I mean, wherever k is, just put it as n because k is equal to n. So this will become n minus 1. Here we will get n minus 2, isn't it? So that's what I have written. Substituting the value, we will get all this. Tn minus n, Tn minus n minus 1, Tn minus n minus 2 up to log of n minus 1, log of n. Hence, we will get t0. N minus n is t0, log 1, log 2, log 3, all getting added up to log of n minus 1 log n, isn't it? So now that log of x into y is nothing but log of x plus log of y. You know this logarithmic theorem. So we have log 1 plus log 2 plus log 3 plus log of n minus 1 plus log n. This can be written as log of 1 into 2 into 3 into up to n minus 1 into n. I hope you understand. If you expand this, you will get the same what we have written above, correct or not? But then this is log in the bracket 1 into 2 into 3 into n. That is nothing but n factorial. So we get 1, which was t0, 1 plus log of n factorial. Now watch, Tn is 1 plus log of n factorial. I'll tell you, this is actually a problematic case, log of n factorial. You know why? Because we don't get tight bound for n factorial. We can find out lower bound and we can find out upper bound of log of n factorial. But we can't find tight bound. That is exactly what it will be equivalent to. But then the upper bound of log of n factorial is n log of n to the base 2. I hope you have watched the earlier discussion in this same video. That's why I insisted you that you first go through this. Log of n factorial is of the order of n log n to the base 2. And anyway, this is a constant term 1, and you know that 1 has no importance in front of such a large term log of n factorial, and you know that we always take the largest term in the polynomial. So we have got n, we have got, sorry for this, we have got, just ignore this. We have got Tn is equal to n log n. This was the answer. This does not belong to this video. I don't know how it came. Okay. This is Tn is equal to n log n to the base 2. That's how we got the analysis of this recursive function. Now the observation which we did here is so important. Many times, while solving some recursive function or while doing some analysis, you may get somewhere log of n factorial. You may get this. You have to remember that this is nothing but n log n to the base 2. Of course, this log n factorial is less than n log n to the base 2. And as any function is less than some other function, you can say log of n factorial is of the order of n log n to the base 2. Remember this observation. It will be very helpful for you in many of the cases. Thank you very much.